Hello again, everyone, and welcome back here live on Speed Zone TV. Here, we're gonna do a quick little, if you will, kind of unannounced show tonight, as we're going to see from the Action Hacks Racing of Lightning Esports here and the Pats Fans Truck Series live here at IRP and their hunt for the playoffs championship here now on Speed Zone TV. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back here to the show. It's time to get down to business here. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, the number 55 is Truth Hawk. Hope the outside, and the 93 will be Bud Shearer. Row number 2 and the 96 is Barry Nelson. The outside, and the 76 is Mike Rideout. Row number 3 and the 21, the Rattlesnake. Robert Kahn. The outside, and the 4, Joshua Pennell. Row number 4, the Throttle. Chantel Powell on the 05. The outside, the Dead Man, Christian Shriver on the number 14. Row number 5 and the 69, Jesse Fox. The outside, the 10 is Jason Henry. Row number 6 and the 75, Michael Ware. The outside, the 91, Sebastian Chanel. Row number 7 and the 15, it's going to be Brendan McKee. The outside, and the 90, it is Dennis Warrens. Row number 8 will be driven tonight by the 94, Sean Burke. The outside, and the 11 is Rusty Jordan. Our final starter in this one, the number 1, Oren Russell. Lineup is set and now ready to get down to it here, race fans, as they get their driving machines up into full stuff. The IRP Speedway, very tough track to nail down and master. This place will make you work hard for it. Short track racing at its finest, tough racing to be had. No give or don'ts here. You fight and you scratch and claw for this one. Let's see how it plays out here as they get them rolled off through turn number 3 into 4. Coming for the starting line here off the game. It is now showtime here at IRP off through turn number 3 into 4. Green flag dropping out. It is showtime. Hot start out of the gate. Truth Hawk will take their lead out of the gate. Bud Shearer on the outside trying to make their move off of the distance. Every driver right now trying to keep their cool, trying to keep things under position. Shearer to the deep outside. That's where we're going to see a lot of the moves here today. A lot of the outside lane in that bottom groove. Going to be a multi-groove track. Oh! That's Shearer off turn number 4. They're catching off the trouble, and now we got a yellow. Yellow out on the track here. The 93 is Shearer spinning it right up for turn number 4 there and causing the mayhem to start. We're going to the Speed Zone TV instant replay. This will be brought to you in part by our friends at IMB Racewear. Sard racing right out of the gate here, and unfortunately just not able to keep that thing under control here. Let's look at this one. Truth, okay, man, this guy just can't catch a darn break around here. He's had multiple chances to win, and whether it be from delirious cautions or troublesome problems, he just can't seem to catch a break. And once more, he gets himself into a major situation here, coming off through turn number 4, and everybody just catching himself right out of guard, nowhere to go and nowhere to be had, except basically into troublesome zone. See right up ahead there you see the situation happen. There's the tag. Oh, Kahn. Oh, the Rattlesnake got snake bit there. The 05 Pottle's trying to avoid him there. Unfortunately, found herself in a very troublesome end situation there. Not a whole lot they can do in this case. Field is now trying to get squared back up here and back onto the paces after that one. So Field now ready to put things back together. Race control immediately announcing that one's going to fall on the 93 there, Shearer, causing the troublemaker spot. So that will end up putting him in a bit of a troublesome zone. We'll see how the field works their way back down or off of turn number 3 and 4. Barry Nelson now going to lead us down. And Barry, definitely want to watch out for here. He's very clever in his tactics and he knows how to get it done here. We'll see how he handles as they bring him back onto the green flag. Green flag waves up. We're underway again. Truth to a much slower start there. As you saw from the other ends here, Nelson going to take the early lead. Mike Rideout and Joshua Pennell right in the mix here as they swing their way right back down on the back straightaway. 3/4 of a mile in length and half-mile style-esque track. This is going to really push these drivers to some limits here, many of which are going to be looking for momentum and carrying speed wherever they can here. And at times as well, trying to avoid getting into that wall protection. Brendan McKee in the 15, hard off the trail, off the outside, smacking the wall off turn 1 and 2. That's the risk you run here. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of drivers throughout numerously just trying to build speed and build drive off and trying to watch out for areas and obstacles. And that, unfortunately, was one where they got a little too hard on the throttle and got themselves into a bit of a panic situation. Now, again, this is a multi-groove track. That extreme bottom lane is up for taking, but it's very difficult to get that groove to stick. The banking is where a lot of these drivers are going to be trying to play it out at, trying to keep things steady Eddie, as you will. Back into the fight here, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, Jesse Fox, Bud Shearer, and Truth Okay right now trying to get something figured out. Truth right now a lap down due to that carnage he unfortunately had to go through, getting the machine repaired and fixed up. He's hoping for a breaker and hoping for something, as Shearer keeps him at bay and trying to keep him under control. Get on board here with Truth, and this gives you a good example of just how tough it is to work around this track here. You hear him really throttle in and then throttle off so quickly. Again, this track is such a short track for these truck series, but it really kind of brings back the point of the grassroots racing style that this truck series was known for and really was created for. And now to be able to see it back in the playing field and back in the zone certainly tells you how good and great that these things can do in the time of racing. Chase Henry deep to the inside right now, looking for a passing zone here off through turn number 4. Brendan McKee not able to keep him at bay. Henry looking for the pass. That's cleared it. Good job there. And the old Rattlesnake. Oh, look out for him. It's been a long, long time since I've had to announce and say that name around here. He's a tough one, he is. He does not like to play around. And if you haven't already kind of guessed it, he's got some known venom he likes to spew onto the drivers, and just his racecraft. Won't say much in the voice unless he has to. But when it comes to pure racecraft, I think honestly you gotta kind of give him the nod in terms of all-around paces. But sure, though, no slouch or stranger here. The defending Lightning Esports champion, back in the ARCA series, and now currently trying to get in the top hunt for the Truck Series championship. But he knows there's a murderer's row of drivers that would love nothing more than to stop him dead in his tracks from that. We're on board here with Jesse Fox. And again, you can see a lot of drivers sticking towards the middle of the outside groove. Again, that's where the racing zone is. That's where most of these drivers want to play at. But the problem is, you go up to that extreme outside lane, kind of like how you would run at Darlington. You're ended up finding yourself more often than not slamming and passing that wall around more often than you can be, leaving some nice stripes along the way. But again, that's where you've got to play to keep your tires under control and at bay, especially with how long this race can go and how tough it will be on the tires and the speeds here. Time to take a look at our lap time track tech talk. This is presented in part by our friends at Lightning Wraps. Here's the way it looks right now. Currently green as can be for Mike Rideout, as he lost only a little time there on lap 13. Hasn't really faltered since, and still has yet to falter. It may seem like a little trivial though, having only gained about 0.2 of a second, then about a 0.5 tenth there. But for Barry Nelson, right now, all he's caring about is staying focused on his rhythm, staying focused on his drive, and just trying to keep things under control. Again, this is a long form race, so the longer this one goes, the longer this one can play out and make things much harder on the rest of the field. Right out in that Can-Am machine, needs to start picking the pace up though. He lost a little bit of time there on lap 17. He needs to be aware of the tire strategy and aware of what he's doing. But in my opinion, he certainly has got something dialed in right now, and he's trying to put it up to the grabs here with Joshua Pinnell and Shriver right behind him. Whoa, look out off turn number 4, trouble, and once again, Truth, okay, man, he just cannot catch a break. Oh my goodness. Massive damage coming off the corner. Oh my goodness, he was trying to get that lap back and he was looking pretty solid there, and then I don't know what happened there, but it was not pretty, whatever happened. Take a look at it right here. Oh. Ooh. I mean, honestly, had it not been for Burke there, Truth might have been able to get out of it damage clean free, but yeah, that's not going to be the case here. Could take a look at onboard cameras here on both Truth as well as Bud here, and man, that was a nasty situation there. Truth holds his line. He's trying to fight Khan there. Does go down a little bit here. But again, the rear end has to kind of do that just to get it to steer off in that corner. It's hard to get this thing to stay stable with that kind of speed and that kind of control. And that just shows you how tough it was right there, just being able to stay in that lane and stay in that shot there. Yeah, Bud right there, you can see all the way down as far as it can go in his mind, but not far enough. It unfortunately has caused yet another caution to come out here. So Field now going to try to get squared back up. That was, by the way, that was your Speed Zone TV instant replay brought to you in part by our friends down there. As we get the field squared back once more. Brought to you by our friends at Dead Man's Hit List. Field now ready to patrol back onto the green flag here. Squaring up off turn number 4 here. Once more, Barry Nelson, Mike Rideout, Joshua Fennell, Christian Schreiber, Jason Henry, Chantel Pottle. The ones who lead us down as we bring him back to the green flag. Nelson, once more, will lead him out. Trying to keep things under pressure, trying to keep the truck in gear. Mike right out looking on from behind. Look out on the outside. Here comes the throttle. Chantel Bottle, man, she's one you got to watch out for. Whoa, she gets a little bit of a slap on the outside wall there, trying to fight Pennell off. Trying to take down the B-like bit Toyota Tundra. Pennell Racing Machine. Bottle in her foxed up lightning wrap scheme said to me earlier on today after switching to the new equipment she's got from her Sim Magic crew, she has been absolutely finally getting back to her old racing ways. Now wants to prove it and show the world she still is the throttle. Keeping her momentum up though. She's currently trying to deal with Con and Henry right by the out on the backside. Now comes the Rattlesnake to the inside. The Interstate Batteries Machine trying to build power up. Henry looking on. Same with Sebastian Chanel. Got an onboard camera here with Sebastian here, as he currently works his way through into the field. And I want you to take a close look at that steering. Watch how smooth he steers in. Doesn't overdrive it, but he doesn't underdrive it. Again, that's because he has to stay clear of tearing it in too hard. Once those front tires start to get tore up, especially the right sides, this thing always comes with a dump truck to try and steer around with. There's the Rattlesnake. Hard charge, slide job from the bottom, going to the top. Otto says, you ain't getting me that quick, but can't recover off the exit. Slap the wall. Con with the lead off that spot. Leading him off turn 4. Got the 5th spot now. And now Sebastian Chanel like a shark in the ocean. A little drip of blood's all it takes. You can't stop this hungry feast that they want for positions. Bottle's trying to keep that 91 at bay. The Metalheads machine now is in full display. Side by side, Jesse Fox as well, pushing up quickly there with Bud Shearer as everybody tries to make their way through the lanes. Now clearing off the gap. Here comes Shearer deep to the inside. He is a madman on a mission. Feels as though he should have been put to the back twice. Now trying to fight back everyone in sight. Michael Ware in the 75 making good recovery on that too from that, but it is your race leader, the 96 of Barry Nelson. Rocking the Nelson's 96 machine with a clown on the back to scare the field away. But they've got a dead man and a Mike right now hot on his trail trying to catch up to him. The Outlander Can-Am 76 here in a big pursuit and a tough battle there dealing with the old dead man himself. Rocking his dead man's hit list, the English Creek Speedway, River Bottom Raceway, up to gold stuff. Trying to deal with the pressure right now. Right guy out trying to see if he can keep the Can-Am machine at bay. Steering clear of trouble, trying to watch for the 14's movements. He knows he's going to try to make a move, drafting that hard off, almost kind of like a Darrell Waltrip style racing move. Stay on the back bumper. Don't let them make them think about it until the time is right. Trying to bridge that gap and looking for the pass. Still can't find it yet. Tough speed, tough momentum, certainly playing a factor here. If we look on from the background, you've got some runners and some forerunners coming back into this. One of them just so happens to be driving the brand new Dodge Ram truck for this season in 2026. And it's the first time we've been able to get it on the call with the league even too. There's really no difference in speed or power. It really just looks the body-wise and the body type. It's gorgeous looking scheme, gorgeous looking piece of equipment. It is so good to see a new manufacturer enter the fray and have a go at it. And you're seeing right now with that Dodge 75 here of where it's doing, putting a fight to Sebastian Chanel as Butcher and Joshua Pinot. Oh! Get into it a little bit on turn number 1. Sebastian flipped up. Oh, can he save it? No. Yellow is out on the track. Sebastian Chanel clipped up around after turn number 1. Good grief, what a terrible collision coming off through turn number 1 and 2. We go into the replay. My word, folks, that was not what any of them had in mind, and unfortunately, the racing gods do not hold contempt. They will not go easy. Michael Ware causing that one. Clips up the 91 machine there, right entering through the turn. Sebastian, again, you can see the cold tires and the rear ends just not having that much grip. When you're in a position like that, it's hard to get out of that mess. And unfortunately, that was the case there in that predicament. What a terrible, terrible break there coming off the corner. One more look at that Speed Zone TV instant replay. And there you see Michael tags him. Ouch, ouch. And what's that other word? Oh, yeah, ouch. See Oren Russell there making a pass. McKee, he had nowhere to go. And Pottle's just basically getting around them as well there. Man. That was a Speed Zone TV instant replay brought to you in part by our friends at Pat's Fans YouTube channel, and the proud sponsor of the Lightning Esports Truck Series for this season. Field now, getting ready to march their way back down into this one, ready to go back at it once again. Things could be a lot tougher here. Some drivers going into pit road and some taking clear pit stops, making their choices well known and heard as they roll them right off through turn number 3 into 4. 100 laps still to go here at IRP. Henry right out and Shriver both on the verge, side by side. The 14 taking it to right out, trying to push the 76 up a little higher to get that inside groove more. Deep into the charge goes the 14. The dead man is out for blood now. He's on the hunt for Nelson. Shriver going to need to do what he can here to keep that thing under control, though. He got a win earlier on this season at Milwaukee Mile, dedicating it to his long-lost friend that is there on the back of his truck. Said earlier on that was just the one he wanted to get. He didn't care if he won the championship. He just wanted that win for his old buddy. Oh, trouble, right off there, turn number 2. Turn number 1, I should say, that causing the situation. Joshua Pinnell on the number 4. Clipped up off the corner end there, and I'm not sure who started that one, but we're going to the replay to figure this one out. Ooh, ouch. Hold on. Yowie. Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Oh. Whoa, nasty hit there. Took like 4 or 5 or 6 of those just to knock that 4 around a bit, but I think it's pretty clear who was the one who was at fault there. Butcher right now is really turning into a pinball around this track. He has not gotten away from anybody or gotten out of the messes of anything. Drove up a little bit here, and again, I don't think he intentionally tried to do that. He backed way off trying to avoid it. But as soon as he did, well, let's just say short track racing certainly has a way to tell a tale around here. That will send him back into the EOL spot once again. And he just has not had much luck staying away from that here. Let's go on board here. Everything looks good here. He sees an opening, so he's going to go to the inside. He's got speed. But then, right there. Again, not anywhere to go. Nowhere to go and more trouble to be had. That's really what it all boiled down to. And unfortunately, got themselves into another caution situation here as everybody has now come from pit road and now settled back down onto the track. We're ready to get back down to the green flag again. Change in the pace. Pitting in late, pitting in earlier for the tires. Robert Kahn has now tried to set his bar up, right out. Looking to try and stay out a little bit. A lot of drivers running with some damage and some heavy ground artillery. We'll see how much of a factor that plays in as they roll him back down onto the circuit. Looking for the green flag off for turn number 4. Right out will lead the way this time on by as the green flag goes back on out. Don will lead him down here for the moment. The Rattlesnake getting 4 spots up from his qualifying position. Started in the 5th spot. Now is currently in the lead. Brennan McKee, the Hard Charger Award recipient so far. Currently in the 10 spots up. He started 13. Looking to make a statement. Make something well known around here that he came to fight. He came to race. 3 wide out for turn number 3 into 4. My, Oren Russell, Truth OK, as well as the number 10, Jason Henry having a go at it there. Still going 3 wide, just barely out the corner. Henry trying to stay out of trouble. And old Shearer, once again, he had a start from the outhouse. He's looking to try to climb back into the White House. Everybody right now in a hot dog fight position, just trying to stabilize everything down, trying to keep things under control. It is a wealth of talent at its core and at its bay right now. Everybody is trying to separate, trying to get their own gaps squared up. Again, that's the toughest part about running on these short tracks, is having to figure out how to not only get the perfect pit stop set up, but also how to get themselves in a nice situation to spread thin and make sure they can run their race from there. Henry deep on the inside with Sebastian Chanel in the 91 here as Oren Russell in the number 1 looking on, trying to stay out of trouble as he rocks the American style death scheme. It's still July, of course, so you got to kind of have a little bit of America flavor around here, especially when you're in Indianapolis. And Oren right now trying to show one of our other Canadian drivers there, Sebastian, that he's got something for him and he wants to fight. He came to race, he came to play. As Michael Ware now looking to capitalize on that 91's mistake. Does have damage on the front nose of that 91, so keep in mind that Sebastian is not up to full power here. That damage actually does slow you down these days, especially with aerodynamic tracks like this. It makes a huge difference on the long haul and the long stints. I can't keep away from this guy here. This guy just keeps coming up onto my rear view mirror and then keeps coming up onto the cameras here. Old Bud still trying to figure something with the SimLabs RBS 93. He's putting it to the dodge of Michael Ware. Michael slightly tapped on the inside wall, on the outside wall, excuse me. As the 4 of Joshua Pinnell right now trying to get some momentum cleared back up, looking to get some redemption back on, I believe, that 93 of Shearer. Probably doesn't want him to run away so quickly. I mean, you just listen how easy on and off they get on the throttle, and then how quickly they get back on the gas. But again, they're not trying to overbrake the car. They're trying to basically keep things nice and settled down, trying to make sure that the speed doesn't over-accelerate or overpower through the gaps here. That can be a very hard decision to deal with and very hard to deal with in many cases, but you have to do it. Truth right now on the inside, man. Truth just does. I give him credit, dude. Truth just does not give an inch, man. He will fight. Even if you are a lap down, he does not care. I think we got to call him the Ryan Newman of this league. He can be a rocket, but he can also be that pain in the neck that just doesn't let you pass for anything. You either pass him clean and fight him hard for it, or you better be starting to figure out how to deal with that temper when he gets right into your face there. Brandon McKee again here, fighting hard on the number 76 here. Outlander MRM of Mike Rideout. Currently in second place is the Rattlesnake Rubber Con. Just wants to see this thing go clean and green. He's got a good gap in distance right now, but again, he is on fresh tires. That must be noted. But we've seen this happen before. Fresher tires on the long stints can make a huge difference, especially when you're going for a full lap stint and a full run and a full racing sprint. The hardest part, though, again, is that when that caution comes out of it, it all does. And those drivers that still have tires left decide to go in and take them. It can be very, very difficult to deal with the pressure, especially when things get a lot more heavy on the nose and heavy on the head. Jesse Fox right now dealing with the number 11 of Rusty Jordan here. Rusty, haven't been able to talk with him all day here. Rusty, again, another driver. Certainly been kind of showing his colors and showing that he can be out here to race and race with the best of them. But it seems as though today here, at least that Power Stroke 4 diesel machine not having the same success rate as he would like to. Kind of threw himself in a bit of a backpack situation and now just get himself back into the lead lap territory. But it's going to be very difficult when he's about 2 laps down and the field right now not giving an inch. Despite all the damage on the 0.5, the throttle Chantel Bottle finally getting back out on the track. She's going to try to get some lap times back and some speeds back up underneath. Battle up front. Here comes the battle for third. 3-truck battle. Brandon McKee, Christian Schreiber, and Jason Henry going at it here as they work their way right off of turn number 2. McKee overdriving it up there, and the old dead man does not care what you do. He wants the spot. He'll take it from you. He's now into the spot, and here comes Henry back on the inside. Run you hard and run you clean. It's clean and green. Old short track racing at its finest. That wall protection, though, on that back and front straightaway, though, folks, that's not a safer barrier. That is literally the old hard concretes that used to mangle machines and unfortunately drivers at times down on the circuits. And right now, for those that even dare slam that wall off that corner, it's literally just catch up between getting the good corner and the bad corner. Battle for the second spot now. Right out of Shriver, Henry as well, mixed in. Ooh. Well, he backed off when he had to there. He knew he didn't want to pull a situation like we saw earlier, so he got out of it. But man, that could have been a gnarly little spot there if it could have gone any worse. Looks like maybe some left rear corner panel damage. Yes, there is on the 14. Don't know how much that's going to affect him in this case here. He's right now. Oh! Just gives a little love tap the old 76. I think he's trying to tell him right out, hey, bud, I'm down here. Don't make mistakes, if you know what I mean. Right out trying to fight him off. Now having to deal with a 10 on his inside. And Henry maybe looking for the slide job. He goes down low looking for the big jump. Oh, can he get it to land? Yes, he can. Gets a big run off there. Turn number 3 and 4, and the 14 following behind. Now that's strategy racing right there again. That's what you call making your moves and making your marks. Right out trying to keep a strategy to hit the outside lane and now having to go to pit road. Looks like he realized he's got no speed or tempo here with the way this has been going. Henry pulling a daily double and munching this thing and nailing it down from there. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn literally not inside that cockpit, also listening on here on the broadcast. Thank you, Kahn, for joining us here. No, I will say, stay focused on your racing lane, my good sir. That's the biggest thing right now you got to focus on. He's down there at work, and he's working inside that cockpit. That's what he's up to. Let's go and take a look on board here with why the Rattlesnake's so far ahead. Again, he's following a very discreet line here. Again, you follow that black marker tar there. The middle groove, just to the outside groove, is where you want to be for the long stints, but also to build the most power up. And with that run there, again, having to run it towards, as some drivers have even said, putting in like a mini Darlington, that certainly helps out a lot and helps keep that pace up and keeps things going. And especially with the situations here, it really makes things much more difficult to have to kind of nail down and kind of keep things under pressure. Well, Barry Nelson, despite leading it out for quite a while here, now in a bit of a slump, if you will. Gone to pit road, trying to take some tires, trying to dig some fuel. Michael Ware right behind him. Pass halfway done now. Timing, execution, extremely critical here, folks. Literally can't make any more mistakes, and you can't give anything else up to the other driver, because at that point you might as well call it a day. Oren Russell right now trying to fight off the 93. The SimLab RBS machine is looking to hunt, scratch, and claw anything that he can get for a position. Extremely clever as he is aggressive. That's the best way to explain Bud. And right now, up on the inside, hammer down. Oh, he catches the one this time on turn 4. He and turn 4 do not get along with any driver down there. At this point, if you're in turn 4 and he's anywhere near you, just get out of his way. Oh my. He tags the one of Oren Russell. Russell probably not too happy about that one. Here comes Nelson as well as Michael Ware up on the outside, making a big shoot for him. Passing him up off the corner, lanes down back into the traffic zone. Can't keep that thing stable, and again, that's just terrible luck there for the one. Nowhere to go and pretty much gets nailed down with a little tag and a whip, and there you go. Whoa. Side by side that time, he gave old Michael Ware a little love tap. Probably not intentionally, but still, nevertheless, sends the 75 into a bad spot. Here comes the Russell Racing, or excuse me, the Panel Racing, number 4. Almost got that name wrong there. That's my bad there, Joshua. He's trying to get that thing back into the fight. Running the radical paint scheme, turning the black into the red and trying to get back into the green with the green still in the air. He's got 9 positions right now in lane choice, but again, he's having a hard time keeping up with the other field of drivers here as they continue to hammer through. Gotta look at the eyes right now. Barry again so determined and focused, just trying to find his lanes and trying to find his shots. No quit or give. Oren up on the outside lane. It's honestly, it's very surprising to me that Barry's running that extreme bottom lane. Oh, that's why there. Man, just absolutely tapped that thing off the corner. He slapped that thing harder than I can hit a rodeo ball with a slap shot to the rear end. That thing went flailing right off the outside lane and took a huge hit. And now Michael Ware here looking to try to capitalize on the one, trying to fight with that 96 here. I was trying to say for a second, the reason I think that's kind of troublesome to go down the bottom lane like that is a situation that the guy right off here, corner number 4, 3 wide, right out the distance, cleared the gap, beautifully done. No quit or get from Michael Ware, and he finally is now going to get a shot here at Oren Russell, but I was going to say, with Barry going to that very bottom lane, the right side tires, if he hits that gas pedal way too hard, it's going to actually tore up his throttle rhythm and tear up that speed he needs to keep things centered. Staying towards the middle and the outside is the much better lane. It may be a little slower, but it does save the tires better. And with this long stint right now these drivers are on, they need every bit they can get. Khan still leading us down and really hasn't left up on that one. You can just see the 21 Interstate battery machine smooth as silk and just trying to keep things under control. Meanwhile, the battle for second still between the Dead Man's Hit List number 14 of Shriver and the Valvoline number 10 of Jason Henry. trying to march that charge down, trying to make the move where they can here. Henry just trying to keep that 14 at bay. Can't quite do it forever, though. Up on the outside, there goes the 14. Henry backed off the throttle, probably tried to save his tires and save things under control. Well, that 14, he doesn't think the same way right now. He's looking to get to the top spot. He wants Kahn's lane. Meanwhile, 4-truck battle in the mid-back. It's mid-back madness again, race fans. Oh, mama, we've got a battle for the 5th spot. Michael Ware holding down some heavy hitters here. 93 of Shearer, the number 1 of Oren Russell, the 4 of Joshua Pinnell with a lap traffic truck, in the 76 of Rideout, looking to dip that gap up. Shearer having to back off from Ware, opens the door for the 76, now Rideout coming quick. This has been an awesome, awesome display of raw speed and horsepower and track racing at its finest. It was a little iffy at first, honestly, if I'm being real with you race fans, but ever since then, it's been nice and clean and green and smooth as silk. Nelson finally going to pit road. Looks like he was trying to play a strategy card here. Not sure how well that's going to work out for him, but he'll do what he can here as the field continues to face their way around. Joshua Pinnell and the number 4 now putting some distance between him and Sebastian Chanel. As Mike Rideout starts to slowly but surely kind of climb his way back into this here. Well, race fans, I think it's finally time to start the chit-chat and let the drivers do the chatting. It is time to crank it up here on Speed Zone TV. Yes, indeed, race fans here. That was quite a little crank it up segment there. Time and gas right now not changing up too much here. Those that stayed out are trying to push their luck and push their limits here. Kahn certainly well aware of that, but now probably realized that he may be in trouble if things don't change quickly, because the tire wear and the fuel run not playing in his favor here. Every driver for themselves right now as we continue to dog down the pace and dog through the lanes. Henry still going to work here on that 14. Driver just does not want to give an inch though. And again, the biggest thing you gotta watch out for is again just how hard they run towards the middle and the outside groove and then make their way through when the opportunity sets itself in motion, you can't deny it. You can't give it up. You basically got to go full center speed for it, trying to hope for the best. And that's what's so hard about being in this position and being in this predicament, is the fact is that you're just trying whatever you can, as now Khan is in pit road. Tires are going on for the 21. McKee also into pit road. You've got a new leader. Or not so long. Here comes Shriver and Henry now. Khan needs to hurry out. He's going to get out of there quickly. Here he comes. But your new leader is going to be the number 4, Joshua Pinnell and Sebastian Chanel. And Chanel actually going into pit road. Pinnell stays out. Pinnell, your new leader. And he's looking to finish this one on a strong note here. Right behind him, though, here, Khan will now get himself back out of pit road. Right out, Nelson also in the mix. Bud Shearer trying to get his lap back. He's trying to trail everything quickly. Got a lot of speed in between there as the field works their way on around. The 14, the 96, and the 10, both out of pit, excuse me, the 10 out of pit road with the 14. Nelson trying to get things dialed up on the track here. Crazy to think that he was leading us for quite a while here, and ever since then hasn't quite been in the same situation, the same predicament as he'd like to be. Whoa! As he gets a little bit loose. Oh, look up in front of the head though. The 14 even gets loose. Fresh tires certainly giving a bit of a problem, and it looks like that bit on the 14. Here comes Shearer and Nelson. And Shearer kind of saying a few words at the 14, saying, hey, what are you doing? Got him almost clipped up into the wall protection there. I don't think he was trying to intentionally do anything, but yeah, say what you will. Henry to the inside, trying to make his pass here. Oh, no, but he won't. He loses it on turn number 2. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. I thought we were going to get this thing clean and green all the way through. Well, for those that were a lap down, this is certainly going to play into their favor here. That will give them a chance here to get a lap back. There is 2 drivers each time that will get their lap back. See what happened exactly to the 10 here. Did he make contact with the 14? Came off turn 2. Oh, he just got loose. Yeah, I think what happened was, I think he was so used to the way the truck was on burnt heads that when all of a sudden he's now running on much tougher skin there on the tires, it actually ended up costing him more time and ground there, and now put him and this whole field in a very precarious situation. That was your Speed Zone TV instant replay, brought to you in part by Lightning Graphs. And now there is but 35 laps left now, need to be completed. Can the 21 of Khan hold off Nelson now, and the rest of the field, as everybody looking to shoot their gaps and hit their fights, hit the marks, and let's let them send on by again. Khan immediately trying to get some speed on the 96. Here comes Shearer though. You just can't get rid of this guy. But neither can you get rid of the rattlesnake. And he sinks his fangs straight into the inside lane off the turn 4. He's got the lead from the 96. Oh, Shearer this time is the one that gets tagged and tapped around. Yellow, yellow, yellow. All day long, that 93 has been the one that got himself into trouble. This time, he's the one that finds himself in trouble, and wouldn't you know it, the old dead man's the one that got into him. Let's take a look off turn number 4. Oh, that's all on Shriver there. That's completely all on Shriver. He went up high. He was trying to square it up. Probably didn't realize how loose the tires were, and next thing you know, he ends up completely just flipping that 93 around. Not sure how much damage the 93 took. We'll have to see for the next bit of the race here, but off the corner. Yeah, right there. That's plain simple. And race control going to obviously take a bit of a hit on that 14 down there. for that precarious situation. So now, this could get dangerous, folks, because now what we're seeing is a lot of drivers coming on the very edge of the last bit of this race, coming up on the very edge of everything else that's on display here. This is not a good situation for anybody that stayed out late and don't have new tires on, because now what they're going to try to do is they're going to have to try to push these things as far as they can ahead of the field in a very precarious position. This is going to be very tough, though, because, again, when you race at this kind of level, when you race with these kind of drivers, these guys and gals, they don't give an inch. They are about as tough as they come. I would even argue that if you get the egos off from the Esports crew there on the iRacing side for the Coca-Cola series, I think pure talent-wise, I think these drivers could rival them in certain tracks, certain courses, and certain everything. I do believe that. There's at least 3 or 4 I can easily name off here just from what I've seen from the time we have been last spent with them and talked with them. From their days running the NASCAR Heat Series to the days running into iRacing and even trying desperately to get maybe into that Coke Series stuff. We're going to field him off through turn number 3 and 4. Can the Rattlesnake get himself back to victory lane? He's looking to take this one away from the field, but off the corner on turn 4. This is anybody's race here. Here we go again. Sherwood, Lord, this dude just does not know when to quit, does he? He's on the extreme bottom lane, and he's looking for some gaps screwed up. Con and Nelson. No battle for the race lead. Right out right now, trying to get back to the 2 of them. Trying to stabilize them off of turn number 4, looking to keep things under control. They do. Everybody right now in an absolute dogfight for position. No one giving an inch here. As it looks like there's a yellow out on the track. Yellow is out. Sebastian Chanel, the 91, coming to a stop here. See if we can get a look at what happened here. Man, everybody was just trying to push their way through. Good Lord. 3 wide, 4 wide almost. And Chanel, oh! Ooh, yeah. Well, that was a hard angle to tell there. Maybe the 55 tagged him or not. We're going to go to the onboard camera, though, of that 55 and see if he got him or not. That's going to be a very interesting dilemma here to see. There you go, 3 wide. Rusty Jordan. There's Shriver. Sebastian. Oh, no, he got loose on himself there. Lap 107 into 108. That was definitely on the 91. Looked like, honestly, just loss of focus and honestly just probably didn't realize this situation at the time. And ends up catching himself into a bit of a bad spot there. That was your Speed Zone TV Instant Replay, brought to you in part by our friends over at Pat's Fan YouTube channel, proud sponsor of the Lightning Esports Truck Series. 24 laps will turn to 23 laps left to go. Everybody right now wants this win. If you win, you move on to the next round if you're in the playoffs. If you get a win and you're not in the playoffs, well, let's just say it still can do you a lot of good. That's points you can rack up to possibly get yourself into a wild card win. The wild card is done by random draw, and depending on your draw, it can absolutely be beneficial to those that are looking for it. Positioning is everything as we're getting closer and closer to Homestead Miami Speedway. The next time these drivers will be on the track. May not be on this show, but it certainly will be one to see when it comes up as the green flag comes out again. Right out, and Khan will duel for the lead. side by side, right down the back straightaway, heading for turn 3. Khan has the better lane choice, in my opinion. Right out needs to build more power to get to the inside of that 21. Brendan McKee in the 15 trying to stabilize things up. We're just kind of keep thinking they're going to go. Oh, no! Yellow out again, yellow out again. That time the 96 and the 14 getting into each other. Oh my goodness, man. Cautions breed cautions, I guess. And this is not looking good for anybody right now. Let's take a look at the replay once more. Speed Zone TV instant replay. Looking at it. Oh. Well, Nelson getting into the rear end there. The 14 looked like he was trying to square it back up. Shriver, though, definitely pushing his luck a bit. Going that hard off the gap with Shearer and Henry. And again, though, he's on fresher tires. He's on a better set of fuel. He just wants to get things figured out, but now his advantage is definitely taken away. And depending on how bad that front end took, he may have gotten some bad traction there. But, man, got to give him credit where credit's due. He saved that thing pretty good there, all things considered. That thing was slipping right off around. He just basically said, nope, I'm getting this thing back straightened up as soon as I get back around. He said to us earlier that, yeah, he's been working on brand new equipment as well that he got switching from Fanatec to SimMagic as well and running a much stronger base and much stronger pedals for braking and throttle rhythm, as well as a new shifter that he's still getting used to down there. We'll have to see if that helps him out any here at Homestead. Same for some other drivers, because it sounds like equipment changes have been coming fast and quickly here. The field now squared up once more with 17 laps left to go in this one. Which one will it be? Could it be the Rattlesnake trying to revenge some losses and get back to the top of the mountain? Could it be Mike Rideout looking for his first win of the season and returning to victory lane after numerous times out of the spotlight? Oren Russell and Brendan McKee, though, they've got speed, they got power, and don't count out that Wiley Fox there and Jesse Fox, as well as that tough cat in the 93 Shearer. Green flag back out once more to settle the score. Narrow down the bridges and through the gaps off through turn number 3 into 4. It will be Khan leading him right out behind him, now trying to square it up. Oren Russell here dealing with getting on his doorstep. Up on the outside, the 96 here of Barry Nilsson pushing his gap through. Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on! Whoa! They clear him off the gap. Everybody stays clean and green. That is absolute madness. And off through turn number 2, it's 3 wide. Oh, no, not again, not again. Henry taps up the 14. Shriver sending the 10 into the wall. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Oh my goodness. What on earth? Oh, my word. This track and these trucks is not giving these drivers any inches here. We're going to look at this one from what started this whole mess happen to begin with. Let's see what happened. McKee comes up into the 96. Great save there by McKee and good driving by Barry Nelson. Here comes Henry, and then on the inside, there goes Shriver. And again, you can't leave doors open like that. They're going to go for it. But a terrible miscalculation by that 14. Overdrove it and slammed right into the 10 there. And again, nothing they can do about it except just terrible situation and a very, very poor move there, in my opinion, for the situation at hand by that 14. You just can't go to that extreme bottom lane like that on cold tires or even on pressure sets and think it'll grip. He seemed to have stabilized it, but then when he went up, he didn't know that 10 was still there. If he did, he just didn't think about it. Lack of communication and thought from his spotter in his mind. And you can see right there, yeah, that was the end of it. He was just too ticked off. He's done with it. He's going to go put it into pit road here, looks like, and that might be the end of the old dead man tonight. So now that pretty much going to settle a few of these drivers back into place and back into position. The top 5 really hasn't changed all that much in terms of who has been where and what. But there is still... That was a Speed Zone TV Instant Replay brought to you in part by our friends at IMB Racewear. I think we may have had a little hiccup there. Might have had a disconnection. I think we are reconnected here. The first time ever we've been disconnected for a second. Yes, we are back up and running. We are okay on the stream. We're finishing this final 11 laps out one way or another, race fans. Off of turn number 4 for possibly the final time. Can these drivers get this one put in the bed? Put this one to rest. Put this one to the end that it deserves. Sheer, whoa! Sheer pushing the absolute living daylights out of that 21, trying to make a move off. Khan not going to be too thrilled about that. He doesn't like being pushed around like that. The dastardly rattlesnake now looking to be just putting the venom back into his tack and back in his track. He forces the 93 to hold up and now right out, trying to get back underneath them. Sheer realizing he doesn't want to make somebody mad in the playoffs. That could cause him more trouble than it's worth, and he knows it. Everybody right now just trying to hold down the charge and trying to keep things under control. Momentum starting to sway. Right out losing ground. Nelson on the outside. Right out is trying to get the bottom lane to stick and just hope to get back to the outside group quickly, but he's not getting much luck. The speed is on the outside berm. That's where they're a little bit more stable, a little more under control, whereas you go to the inside berm, it just does not work as well. Khan, though, now with the presence of mind to start putting the ground to the tires. He realizes this might be his last chance to finish this one up. Nelson in a deep fight, trying to scavenge and savage his way once more. He's looking and trying to push the lane up on Sheer. Oh, he slapped the wall though. Couldn't get enough of it. Couldn't keep the speed up. Now he's finding himself in a troublesome spot going to the inside. He can't get the runoff like Shearer does. And Khan right now is absolutely loving every minute of this, realizing he's got a full-length lead ahead of the field. Battle back in the back, mid-pack madness ensuing. Henry and Fox still trying to do it out once more. Truth, okay, just hoping, maybe praying for something to happen at this point is a miracle. But his lap down corner far too much. He's not going to be able to get back on the lead lap. So he's just going to basically race it with the best of them and see what happens. Coming down, here we go, final 5 laps. Flagman holding the 5 up in the air. 5 more to go for Khan. Shearer, Nelson, Russell, and Ware. Nelson right now currently looking at the tempo, looking at the speed of the 93, looking to see if maybe he can dip to the inside, find some speed there. Got to stay off that wall protection though, can't make any more mistakes and give any more opportunities. It's not worth the risk, it's not worth the situation. Despite that damage on the number 10 here, Henry still holding a 3-spot gain here in the 7th position. Truth, deep to the inside, showing you what fresh sets of tires can do for you. Throws the slide job right back into the face of Henry. Henry know where he can go. Everybody just trying to stay out of trouble and stay out of any issues here. Just wants to finish this one on a high note. Oren Russell and Michael Ware right now trying to get the last bit of that top 5 action put to bed, put to rest. 2 laps left to go though for the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. The old snake is still as toxic as he is venomous to the drivers. Will lead them down off turn number 3 and 4. White flag coming up this time on by for Robert Kahn. Bud Shearer right now dealing with company on his doorstep. Nelson still wants it. Trying to get to the momentum off the lane. Can't quite find it. He'll need 3 and 4 to work because on the back straightaway off turn number 3, coming from off turn number 4, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn's going back to victory lane here at IRP. Bud Shearer will hold off Nelson. Oren Russell will hold down Mike Rideout to get 13 spots up from his qualifying position. The Hard Charger Award recipient. That is your top 5 drivers, but the one they all try to hunt down and take down tonight will be the one who takes this one to victory lane. The driver of the Interstate Batteries Toyota Tundra, the number 21, Robert Kahn. The nickname the Rattlesnake for a reason because when he bites, He strikes with speed and ferocious venom that it takes a long time to get out if you don't got the anti-venom to him. No one had the anti-venom to stabilize the 21 tonight. But what a performance by all the drivers involved here today and into the nighttime. Race fans, what a performance by everyone that came out to play. Here is your race results presented in part by our friends at IMB Racewear. The Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, back to victory lane. Bud Shear, is it any surprise he gets it into second place with pure aggression at his hand. Barry Nelson, a surprising favorite here, came in with a heavy nose and a heavy speed. Had the cautions played out differently, could have been a different story. Orrin Russell here, though, man, he started from the outhouse, and he took a beautiful trip to the White House. Mike Rideout getting himself into the top 5 once again. It's only a matter of time before that cat gets into victory lane, I'm telling you. And same could be said for that 10 of Jason Henry. He was absolutely fighting and just got into some massive situations and dealt with some very bad luck here. Rusty Jordan, gotta say, he was allowing some laps, and then what did he do? He just said, to heck with it. I'm coming back. I'm fighting up pretty quick. Got himself into 7th place. Well done there. Jesse Fox, another top 10 contender, always in and out. Never count the old Sly Fox out of this one. Michael Ware and Brendan McKee, 2 strong performers throughout, stabilizing and showing that they still had the speed to hang with the big dogs. Race fans, that will all but do it from us here today in Indianapolis Raceway Park. Thank you, IRP, for showcasing us and letting us come on out. Thank you to the Lightning Esports for letting us get this call done. Until the next time, race fans, take care of yourself, be safe, God bless, and we'll see you next time here on Speed Zone TV.